What's up, Broncos country? Look who just popped up on our radar after that victory against the Eagles. Family? While everyone was still celebrating that epic triumph, the Denver Broncos front office wasted no time and already made moves on the chessboard. And look, this move might seem small at first glance, but when you stop to analyze it, there's a lot more going on than you might think. Did we just find a missing piece for our offense? Or is this just another practice squad addition? Before I hand you everything on a silver platter, let me tell you, what happened behind the scenes could change the course of our season. Trust me, Broncos country, you won't want to miss this. So grab your snack, get comfortable, and come with me, because this is going to be quite a journey. We're going to uncover every detail, every strategic move of this signing. Let's get straight to the point then. On Sunday, right after that crushing victory against the Eagles, where we showed the world that the Denver Broncos aren't a team to mess with, the franchise announced the signing of Toure to the practice squad. That's right, family. The 27-year-old wide receiver who spent the last few seasons trying to establish himself in the league now wears orange and blue. And before you think it's just another routine move, let me tell you who this guy is and why he might be exactly what we needed. Toure was selected in the 7th round of the 2022 draft by the Packers. You know that feeling when you're picked at the very end, where the spotlights don't shine as bright? That's exactly how his journey began. He arrived in Green Bay with the dream of proving his worth, but reality knocked on the door in a very different way. During 2 seasons with the Packers, Toure barely saw the field. Just 13 receptions in 22 games, starting in only 2. 13 receptions, family. That's less than many wide receivers get in a single game. He accumulated 160 yards and crossed the end zone only once. Numbers that don't make anyone jump out of their seat. But here's something important. Just because a guy didn't work out at one franchise doesn't mean he can't explode at another. How many times have we seen players discarded by one team become stars at another? That's exactly where the question lies with Toure. In August 2024, the Packers cut him, but quickly the Bears, division rivals in the NFC North, scooped him up for their practice squad. And that already says something, right? If a rival team saw enough value to bring the guy in, there's something there. The Bears even signed a contract with Toure in January, showing they believed in him. He spent the entire summer training with the roster, participated in preseason work, and even showed flashes of what he's capable of. In the preseason games, he caught 5 of 7 passes thrown his way, accumulating 72 yards. Not bad, right, family? For a guy trying to prove his worth, those numbers were exactly what he needed. But then comes the tough part. On August 24th, the Bears made that difficult final cuts decision. And guess who was on the list? Toure was released again. And look, it wasn't because he played badly. It was because the team decided to invest heavily in other wide receiver options. The Bears had just used a 2nd-round pick to select Luther Burden III from Missouri, who arrived with all the hype. Add that to DJ Moore, Rome Oduns, Olamide Zakos, Devin Duvernay, and an undrafted rookie. Do the math, family. How much room is left for a guy who's still proving his worth? Coach Ben Johnson, who had familiarity with Toure from his time with the Lions, simply didn't see the fit. But here's the crucial point. This guy didn't give up. Since being cut, Toure has done everything to get back in the league. He participated in workouts with several different teams. One was with the Giants, who were desperate for reinforcements after Malik Neighbors suffered a season-ending injury. But even then, he didn't get an immediate spot. Until last month, he had a workout here with the Denver Broncos. And family, this detail makes all the difference. The fact that our team called him in for a tryout, evaluated, analyzed, and now, weeks later, decided to sign him, shows this wasn't an impulsive decision. It was calculated. It was thought out. It was strategic. And here comes the burning question. Why exactly did the Denver Broncos decide to bring in Toure now? What changed? First, the context. We just delivered a beating to the Eagles, the reigning Super Bowl champions, handing them their first loss of the season. It was a statement to the rest of the league that the Denver Broncos aren't here just to make up the numbers. We're here to compete, to win, to show we're a real contender. And when you're in that competitive mindset, every detail matters. Now look at our wide receiver group. We have Courtland Sutton, our undisputed leader, the veteran who knows the system inside and out. We have Troy Franklin, who's shown flashes of talent and promises a lot. But after those two, the depth becomes more questionable. And in modern football, family, you don't survive a season with just two reliable wide receivers. Injuries happen. Fatigue accumulates. Games are decided in the details. Having options on the bench, guys who can come in and make a difference when called upon, isn't a luxury. It's an absolute necessity. Samurai Toure comes in precisely to strengthen that rotation, to give Sean Payton more options to work with. And there's another important factor. The practice squad isn't just a place where you leave forgotten players. It's a development space, a preparation area, where guys can evolve away from the spotlight. How many important players in the league started exactly like this? Samurai Toure is 6 feet tall and weighs about 190 pounds. He's not the tallest, not the heaviest, but has the physique that allows versatility. He can play inside, outside, or deep routes. And that versatility is pure gold in a modern offensive scheme, the move that opened space for him. On Saturday, linebacker Garrett Wallow was promoted to the active roster. That freed up a spot on the practice squad, and the Denver Broncos didn't waste time. Perfect timing, calculated move. And here's another interesting detail. Our practice squad already had 3 wide receivers: Michael Bandy, A.T. Perry, and Thomas Thayer. Now, there are 4. And that doesn't mean the others lost space. It means the team is creating internal competition, making everyone push harder. Healthy competition is pure fuel, family. It's what separates average teams from champions. When you have several guys fighting for the same position, everyone raises their level. Everyone trains more intensely. And in the end, the whole team wins. Now let's stop for a second and think about the personal side. Imagine Samurai Toure's journey to this point. Selected in the last round of the draft, barely played for the Packers, was cut, quickly picked up by the Bears, trained all summer, showed something in preseason, and still got released again. Most would have quit. Most would have thought, maybe this isn't for me, but that's not what he did. He kept training. He kept believing. And now, at 27 years old, he has another chance. Another show he belongs in the league. And look, Broncos country, if there's one thing we learn from this sport, it's that you should never underestimate the hunger of a player who's been cast aside. The desire to prove everyone wrong is one of the most powerful forces that exists. Samurai Toure arrives here with that mentality. He's not coming here for a vacation. He's coming to fight for survival. Now, realism is also important, family. Let's not create crazy expectations thinking he'll be the next big star. But what we can expect is that he'll be a dedicated professional, train hard, quickly learn Sean Payton's system, and be ready to step in when called upon. The Denver Broncos, at 3-2, are in an interesting position. We're not dominating the league, but we're not at the bottom either. We're right there in the mix, proving game after game that we're a dangerous team that nobody wants to face. And every small roster improvement, every smart addition, all contributes to us continuing to climb. The next stop is London, where we'll face the Jets in Week 6. Playing abroad always brings challenges. Time zone, long travel, adapting to a different environment. But if there's one thing this team has shown, it's resilience and ability to adapt. It's unclear whether Samurai Toure will have any role against the Jets. Probably not, since he just arrived and needs time to integrate into the system. But the simple fact that he's there, training with the team, absorbing knowledge, is already an important step. Practice starts Wednesday, and you can be sure he'll make the most of every second. And look, family, there's a fascinating aspect of this signing that shows a lot about the Denver Broncos' current philosophy. Instead of going after a big name, an expensive free agent, someone who comes with all the hype, the team chose to bring in a guy with hunger, with something to prove. That shows humility. It shows the focus is on building something solid, sustainable, based on hard work. Sean Payton isn't a coach who makes signings just to make them. He's meticulous. He's detail-oriented. He wants players who fit his system, who buy into his philosophy, who are willing to put in the necessary work. And if he gave the green light for this signing, it's because he saw something in Samori Toure worth betting on. So let me take a quick break here. If you really are true Broncos country, if you bleed orange and blue, if you're committed to following every play, every piece of news about this incredible team, then you need to subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that red button down there, activate the notification bell so you don't miss absolutely anything. Because every week we bring exclusive content, deep analysis, hot news about everything happening with our team. Don't miss out on this, family. Getting back here, the practice squad dynamic in the modern era is completely different from what it used to be. Today, teams can protect up to 4 practice squad players per week, preventing other teams from poaching them. They can promote and demote players with much more flexibility. They can use the practice squad almost as an extension of the active roster. This means Samori Toure isn't condemned to stay on the practice squad forever. If he impresses in practice, if he shows he understands the system, he could be promoted at any time. It could be next week, it could be in a month, it could be in the playoffs. The point is the door is open. The opportunity is there. It just depends on him to grab it, and that, family, is something beautiful to see. It's the meritocracy of sports working in its purest form. It doesn't matter where you were selected in the draft. It doesn't matter how many teams released you before. What matters is what you do with the opportunity when it appears. The season still has a long road ahead. We have 12 games remaining, 12 opportunities to keep building, keep improving, keep climbing. And every week brings new challenges, new tests, new chances to prove what we're made of. The Jets in London won't be easy. They have a talented team, dangerous players, a defensive scheme that can cause problems. But after beating the Eagles, after that dominant performance, confidence is sky high. The team is believing. The chemistry is working, and when you have those elements aligned, you become dangerous. Think about the evolution this team has had from the beginning of the season until now. Think about the adjustments, the improvements, the growth everyone has had. It's impressive. And everything indicates we haven't even come close to our ceiling yet. There's still room to improve. There's still space to grow. And that, family, is scary for our opponents. And let's be honest, no team survives a full season without needing to use depth. Injuries are inevitable. Players get tired. Sometimes you need a specific scheme that requires a certain type of player. Having that depth, having options available, isn't a luxury. It's a basic necessity. Look how many teams we've seen over the years that started well but collapsed because they didn't have enough depth. The Denver Broncos are being smart by making sure they have multiple options at every position. They're building a roster that can withstand adversity, and adversity will come, family. That's the nature of the season. You don't go through 17 games without facing challenges. You don't reach the playoffs without overcoming obstacles. What defines great teams isn't whether they avoid problems, but how they respond when problems appear. Having players like Samori Toure, who have already gone through personal adversity, who have had to pick themselves up after falls. That adds a layer of mental resilience to the roster. These guys know what it's like to suffer. They know what it's like to have to fight for every opportunity. And when the game gets tough, these are the guys who often step up because they're already used to difficulty. Think about the locker room dynamic, too. When you bring in guys with hunger, with the desire to prove their worth, it creates contagious energy. It makes veterans remember why they started playing. It keeps everyone humble and working hard. Nobody can get comfortable when there's always someone knocking on the door wanting to take their spot. If I could give Samori Toure one piece of advice, it would be yourself. Play free, play loose. Enjoy every second of this opportunity because you worked too hard to get here. Don't let the weight of expectation paralyze you. Don't let fear of failure stop you from giving your best. Play with heart, play with passion, play like every snap is your last. And for you watching, for you who are part of Broncos country, I want you to reflect. What does this signing represent in the bigger context of our season? It might seem small now, but what if in a few months we're celebrating a playoff run and realize that moves like this were fundamental? What if Samori Toure gets called up in a critical situation and makes that game-changing catch? Stranger things have happened, family. Football is unpredictable. It's full of twists and turns, It's a sport where underdogs become heroes, where long shots take down favorites, where the impossible becomes reality every Sunday. And if we've learned anything over the years, it's that you should never count anyone out until the final whistle. So let's welcome Samori Toure. Let's hope he finds his place here. Let's be patient while he develops and learns the system. And let's trust that Sean Payton and the entire coaching staff know exactly what they're doing. They have the plan. They have the vision. And we need to trust the process. 3-2 is a solid record at this point in the season. There's a lot of ground ahead still. Many games to play. Many battles to win. But if we keep doing things the right way, if we keep adding pieces hungry to win, if we keep building this culture of hard work and dedication, there's no limit to what we can achieve. The trip to London will be special. Playing on an international stage always is. There's that different energy, that special glamour. But regardless of where we play, regardless of who the opponent is, the mission remains the same. Put another W in the win column. Keep proving that the Denver Broncos are back. Keep showing that we're a force to be reckoned with. So, Denver Broncos family, what do you think about this Samori Toure signing? Do you believe he could be that surprise reinforcement who will help us in decisive moments? Or do you think he's just another name on the practice squad? Comment down below. I want to know what each of you thinks. Leave a like if you enjoyed this content. Share with your Broncos country friends so everyone stays informed. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss any play of our season. See you in the next video, family. Broncos country, let's ride.